Hello, welcome to Tubie Life. It's been a while since my last video. I thought it was time to do kind of an update. Moreover, this is a summary of what have I learned as a Tubie. There's a lot. There's a lot I've learned, a lot I've experienced, and a lot more to deal with in the future. The first thing I say that's important that I learned is about getting all of your equipment. You have to find where to get your button. Oh, I have a tube, a G tube, and you have to find where to get your G tube. You have to find how to put it in, and that's something I learned how to do, is to put it in. That's a very good thing, because previously I had to spend thousands of dollars to go and have it done at the hospital. So that's another thing I learned about the G-tube. I learned how to put in my own button, and that's one of the equipment pieces that I have to be able to get. I found how to get that online. And that kind of gets to the second item. When you have to find your equipment, there's plenty of places that will say, oh, we'll provide it for you. Just tell you what you want. And of course, they tend to charge more because they're providing the service of getting your equipment for you. So I'm cheap, so I had to go out and find the equipment on my own, which meant searching the internet for sites or companies that provide all the equipment I need. So that's something else I've learned about being a Tubie, is how to find these sites, how good they are. I had to go through many different trials with all of them to see which one is best for which equipment. And they don't all supply all of the equipment I want at the best price. So I had to go through that process of trial and error with each one to find which one is the best for which equipment. And that means also the equipment part, finding out which equipment is best for what type of action. Like when I'm out driving around, or if I'm being active, like if I want to go for a walk or a bike ride, I have to be able to feed and hydrate at the same time. That means I have to find a particular kind of bags for my pump to see, to be able to pump all the nutrition and hydration I need. So I had to find the right site that had the best price for each individual type of feeding bags that I needed. And of course, there's learning how to deal with the pump versus gravity. When's the best time to use one over the other? I had to learn all that over just about 2 years. So getting the equipment, finding the tourist sites. Then I had to learn how to incorporate all this activity that I had to do with just daily living, because feeding, for me, takes hours, lots of hours, 6 to 8 hours a day. And what makes that challenging is trying to be somewhat active, but also wanting to keep the costs down. So the problem is, for me, is always trying to figure out, I have to plan, what am I going to do today? Am I going to be moving around, which means one type of bag, one type of feeding, one type of hydration, what's it going to be? So every day I have to plan that. This is again something that's become an important part of my life, is planning what I'm going to eat for the day. Another thing is, I learned over the years, is feeding through a tube is so much different. I have no sense of taste, no sense of texture or anything. Like, I used to love to eat nuts, walnuts, peanuts, but I can't do that anymore. And the reason I can't is the main reason why I have to have a tube. So what I miss is that sense of taste. And tube feeding just doesn't cut it. It becomes even more challenging when every other commercial on television is about some kind of food. That becomes emotionally challenging. And the way I've dealt with that is I have moved more towards streaming without ads. So I go online, I try to download something and just stream it. And it's working out okay. But I think probably the toughest thing I have to deal with is how long it takes to do the feeding. It's just part of my waking day. As long as I'm awake, I have to be feeding, almost. And if I want to go outside and be active, like do something in the garden, I have to put on a backpack with my pump in it and a bag or 2 bags. And that takes preparation just to go out and do something in the garden. Otherwise, if I just want to go out and do something, I don't take my feeding and I don't take my hydration. What that turns out to be is probably a loss of weight. The real trick here for me is maintaining my weight or trying to increase weight. And that goes back to being active. I used to really enjoy being active. But now it's challenging because the more active I am, like if I want to do strength training or cardiac training, the more calories I burn. And the more calories I burn, the more feed I must take. This is all created from the Tubie existence. And as I can only kind of do so much feeding a day, it limits the amount of activity I can do. So I guess what I'm saying in summary, becoming a Tubie definitely changed my life. I no longer live at life the same way I used to. It's very different. It's not better or worse, it's different. And the challenges are different. I still try to find the best way to be able to deal with it. And that's kind of the essence of living your life, is own your challenges, face them. Don't fear them. Face them and move forward. Because there are always going to be new challenges, and there always will be things you think you cannot do. But you have to face them and try. And that's what I continue to do. Well, this is kind of a bummer video, but I hope you find it useful as you go through your life with a tube. It is challenging. It is very different. But it's not the end. And it's not the end of you. You are the one that defines who you are. So grab a hold of this challenge. Make it work for you, just like I have. And go find that perfect middle ground of happiness and challenge, and live your life. And until next time, enjoy your Tubie life.